dads, two mindsets. When I was a little boy, I had two dads. One was rich, the other was not. But they were both smart, and they both taught me something big. This is the story of what they showed me, and how two voices shaped the way I see money today. I grew up in Hawaii. The sun was always warm. The waves rolled in like calm whispers, and our neighborhood was filled with tall palm trees and quiet roads. My real dad, the one I called Poor Dad, had a good job. He worked hard. He wore a suit. He believed in school. He had a kind heart. He told me, "Go to school, get good grades, and you'll find a safe job." But my best friend Mike had a dad too. Mike's dad didn't finish school, but he owned many businesses. He had people working for him. I called him Rich Dad. He didn't say the same things my real dad did. He would smile and say, "Don't work for money, let money work for you." Two dads, two different voices. And as a boy, I stood between them, listening. One Saturday morning, I asked my real dad, "Dad, can you teach me how to be rich?" He looked at me, laughed gently, and said, "Son, just study hard and you'll be fine." I nodded, but my heart didn't feel full. So I went to Mike's house. I told him, "Hey, your dad's rich. Maybe he can teach us." His eyes lit up. We ran to his office like two kids chasing a secret. His dad listened carefully. He looked at us for a long moment. Then he said, "If you want to learn how to be rich, I'll teach you, but you must work for me first." We said yes before we even knew what the job was. For 3 hours every Saturday, Mike and I cleaned the shelves at his stores. We swept floors and stocked cans. We earned 10 cents an hour. It felt slow, boring, and honestly, not fun. After a few weeks, I got mad. I told Rich Dad, "This isn't fair. I'm working hard but not getting rich." He smiled. He leaned down and said something I'll never forget.
"Most people work hard their whole lives, but never get rich," he said softly. "They get scared of not having enough money. So they work and work and work." Then he leaned closer and said, "Fear makes people do strange things." I didn't understand it all yet, but something inside me woke up. Rich Dad wasn't just teaching me about dollars. He was teaching me about feelings, fear, greed, comfort, desire. He said, money is like a tool. If you let fear rule you, the tool controls you. But if you stay calm, you can control the tool. He told me that many grown-ups chase money because they're scared of being poor. They think more money will fix it, but it never does. They get a raise, he said, then buy a bigger house, a new car, and the fear comes back. I looked at him, eyes wide. "But what do you do instead?" I asked. "Learn," he said. "Learn how money works. Learn to be still. Don't run from fear. Watch it, understand it, and then make smart choices." Rich Dad didn't talk like a school teacher. He spoke in stories, in pictures, in soft lessons that made me think. Poor Dad, my real dad, wanted me to be safe. He wanted me to have a steady paycheck. He thought owning a business was risky, too risky. He'd say, "We're not rich because I chose to teach. I chose to serve." And I loved him for that. But something inside me wanted more. Not just more money, but more freedom. Rich Dad believed in taking small risks, trying new things, asking big questions. He said, if you want to be rich, you must learn how to think like the rich, not to chase money, but to use it. That sounded odd at first. He gave me an example. He said, let's say you want a new bike. Most people would ask, can I afford it? But the rich ask, how can I afford it? That little change from can I to how can I was like opening a new window in my brain. As a child, I didn't fully understand, but the lessons stayed with me. Rich Dad taught me about opportunities. Poor Dad taught me about limits. Rich Dad encouraged me to think, to ask why, to ask how. Poor Dad warned me not to make mistakes. He'd say, if you fail, it will be bad. Rich Dad would say, if you fail, you'll learn.
Years later, I started to see the difference. My poor dad worked hard all his life, but money always seemed just out of reach. My rich dad worked smart. He made money even when he was sleeping. That didn't mean he didn't work. He did. But he also built systems. He used his brain. He took chances. As a boy, I stood between these two men. One taught me with love, but with fear. The other taught me with boldness and belief. I had to choose. And it was not easy. It was like standing at a fork in the road. One path looked smooth, safe, and straight. The other was rocky, winding, unknown, but full of light. In time, I followed Rich Dad's path, but I never stopped loving my real dad. In fact, I wished he had known what Rich Dad knew, because he had a great heart. He cared about people. He believed in doing good. He just didn't understand how money really worked. And that's okay. We all learn in different ways. You see, this story isn't about having a rich dad or a poor dad. It's about how we think, how we see the world, and how we choose to grow. The mind is like a garden. Rich Dad planted seeds of courage. Poor Dad planted seeds of safety. Both have their place. But if you want to grow wealth, you need to water the seeds of courage. You need to ask big questions. You need to stay calm when fear knocks. Today, I still hear both their voices. When I face a big choice, I ask, is this fear or is this wisdom? Am I playing safe or playing small? Am I running from something or moving towards something better? The answers are never loud. They're soft, like a breeze on a quiet morning, but they are always there. So to you, dear listener, you may not have two dads, but you have two voices. One tells you to play safe. The other whispers to dream bigger.
One says, be careful. The other says, be curious. One says, that's too risky. The other says, what if it works? The voice you feed grows stronger. So feed the voice of courage. Feed the voice that asks, "How can I?" Feed the part of you that dares to learn, to think, to try. And remember, being rich isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about choice. It's about peace of mind. That's what both my dads were really trying to give me. And now I'm passing it on to you. This is the beginning, the foundation, the first step in seeing money not with fear, but with wonder. 2 dads, 2 mindsets, and 1 choice. Your choice. What will you believe? As I grew older, I began to see the world more clearly, not through the lens of numbers or school grades, but through the quiet thoughts that danced in my mind. My 2 dads had shown me different worlds, 2 homes, 2 voices, 2 ways of seeing money, life, and purpose. One voice whispered safety, stability, and service. The other sparked curiosity, courage, and creation. For a long time, I thought I had to pick one. But the truth? Both shaped me. Both helped me grow. Because in the spaces between their words, I found my own voice. A voice that now sees money not as something to chase, but something to understand, to respect, to use wisely. That's when I realized what mattered most were not just their words, but the quiet lessons they left behind, the ones that still echo softly in my heart today. So, as I sat under the fading evening sky, watching the stars blink into view, I asked myself, what did I truly learn from these 2 dads? And slowly, like a calm river revealing treasures beneath, the lessons came to me, softly, simply, clearly.
Let me share them with you now. Not as rules, but as gentle steps on a path. Lessons from 2 dads. Lessons that shaped a life. Lessons for anyone still learning to listen to money and to themselves. Lesson 1. Ask, how can I? Not, can I? From Rich Dad, I learned to ask, how can I? Before I ever answered, I looked around and thought deeply. Instead of hesitating, I searched for a new way forward. Imagine a little bird with a broken wing. Instead of saying, I can't fly, the bird flutters its wings and finds another way. This is the lesson. Think of life as a puzzle waiting to be solved. When challenges came, I remembered Rich Dad's gentle voice that said, how can I make this work? I learned that curiosity was a kind friend, a friend that helped me see problems not as walls, but as open doors waiting to be pushed. Lesson 2. Embrace the gift of learning. Every day, life whispers new secrets. I discovered that it is okay to be a lifelong student, not just in a classroom, but everywhere I go. In the quiet mornings, as the sun painted the sky with pastel colors, I would think about my 2 dads. Poor Dad taught me the value of hard work, like the steady beating of a drum.
Rich Dad reminded me that learning never ends. He showed me that every mistake is just a small step toward greater wisdom.
I remember the time when I made a mistake that felt big and heavy. My heart was sad and I wanted to hide it away. But then I recalled that every fall is a chance to rise again. Rich Dad's words were like a soft blanket that comforted me. Learn from this and grow. So I learned that every stumble is a lesson. Every misstep is a teacher in disguise. And if I listen closely, I can hear a gentle voice saying, "Keep trying." Lesson 3. Courage over comfort. There is a special kind of courage that hides in our hearts. It is not loud or brash. It is soft, like a whisper in the dark. I learned from my 2 dads that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward despite it. Poor Dad valued a safe, steady path, a life that was secure. Rich Dad, on the other hand, showed me that stepping into the unknown can light up paths where there were none. Imagine standing at the edge of a calm lake. On one side, the water is still and known. On the other, the lake shimmers with a mysterious glow. Taking that step into the unknown takes courage. I learned that a heart full of courage does not run from the unknown, but walks slowly into its gentle embrace. Every time I felt afraid of taking a new step, I remembered Rich Dad's advice. He said, "Do not fear the darkness, for it is only a chance to see the stars." And so I learned that courage and curiosity can live side by side, guiding me to a brighter future. Lesson 4. Money as a tool, not a master. Money is something that many people worry about, but my 2 dads taught me that money is like the wind. It can lift you up or push you over. It does not control you unless you let it.
Rich Dad often said, "Let money work for you." He told me that money should be a friend that helps build dreams. It is like a paintbrush that colors life with possibilities. Poor Dad thought of money as something to be earned and saved, a safety net that keeps us warm on cold nights. I learned that neither side was completely right or wrong. Instead, it is the balance of both views that teaches me a richer lesson. I learned to use money as a tool, one that helps shape a life full of choices and joy. By letting money serve me, I found that I had more time to listen to my heart. When I see money as a tool, every coin and note becomes a way to spread kindness, share love, and build dreams. It is not the master of my life. I am the one in charge, gently guiding it to help me live fully. Lesson 5. The power of a quiet mind. In our busy, loud world, I learned the true strength of a quiet mind. Rich Dad showed me that stillness can be more powerful than noise. Take a moment to sit by a peaceful stream. Feel the gentle flow of water as it moves over smooth stones. That is the way of a calm mind, always moving, yet always at peace. I began to practice quiet moments each day. I would sit with a warm cup of tea, feeling the steam rise softly. In that quiet, the lessons of my 2 dads mingled together. I learned that a quiet mind can make clear choices and gentle decisions. There is wisdom in silence. There is strength in calm. I discovered that when I am silent, I can truly hear my heart. And in my heart, there is a song of hope and endless possibility. Lesson 6. The value of time and patience. In the flow of life, time is gentle and kind. It moves slowly, like the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. Both my dads taught me that time is precious.
Poor Dad showed me the importance of a steady routine, one moment after the other. Rich Dad, however, reminded me that some dreams need time to grow. I learned that not all moments are meant for rushing. Just as a seed needs time to bloom into a beautiful flower, our dreams need time to come into full view. Patience is the friend that walks beside us when time seems to crawl. Each day, I learn to celebrate small victories. Like the gentle beating of a heart, time adds up slowly. I discovered that progress is a quiet whisper, not a loud shout. Every minute spent learning or growing is a treasured gift. So I learned to be patient with myself. I learned that every step, no matter how small, brings me closer to my dreams. In patience, I found comfort and strength. Lesson 7. Balancing heart and mind. Two voices taught me to balance my heart and my mind. Poor Dad cared deeply, with a heart that shone bright like the morning sun. Rich Dad used his mind, sharp and clear, like the calm surface of a lake. I learned that feelings and thoughts are both important. When we make decisions, it is best to listen to both. For example, if my heart tells me to try a new idea and my mind warns me of the risks, I take a moment to sit quietly and balance both voices. Imagine you are holding a soft, warm feather in one hand and a shiny, smooth stone in the other. Both are precious and needed. The feather reminds you of tenderness, while the stone reminds you of strength. When you hold both, you feel whole. So I learned that by balancing my heart and my mind, I can live a richer life, one that is full of love, intelligence, and gentle wisdom.
Lesson 8. The journey of self-discovery. Every lesson taught by my two dads was a step on my journey. I learned that life is a gentle story told one day at a time. Each day brought new questions and new answers. I realized that I was not just absorbing lessons about money, but lessons about myself. I discovered that I could be brave, kind, and curious all at once. This journey of self-discovery is like following a winding path in a quiet forest. You never know what beautiful sights you will see around the next bend. You might find a little stream, a bright flower, or a quiet place to rest. Every moment is a chance to learn more about who you are. I learned that every day is a fresh start. Every morning, when the sun rises softly, it offers a new chance to make choices that nurture your soul. Lesson 9. The art of giving and sharing. Rich Dad taught me that wealth is not just about keeping what you have. It is also about giving it away, like seeds scattered on fertile ground. When you share, you create a garden where many beautiful things can grow. I learned that kindness is a currency that never runs out. Giving a smile,
a helping hand, or a kind word can be as rich as any coin. Imagine giving someone a small flower from your garden. That simple act can brighten their day and create a ripple of joy. Every time I share, I remember that my true wealth is in my heart. Money may come and go, but kindness always stays. I learned that the most precious gift you can give is a caring heart. Lesson 10. Trusting your inner compass. In the quiet spaces of my life, I found one lesson above them all. Trust your inner compass. Both my dads showed me different ways of seeing the world, but deep down, the answers were inside me. Your inner compass is like a gentle light that never flickers, even when the world feels dark or confusing. It is the feeling of knowing what is right, even when everyone else is unsure. I learned that listening to your inner voice can guide you through life's twists and turns. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it sings, but it always tells the truth about who you are and what you need. Trusting that inner compass means knowing that you have the strength to choose, to learn, and to grow. It means understanding that your journey is uniquely yours and no one else can walk it for you.
So, what are the lessons we keep from our two dads? They are like gentle stars in the dark sky, always shining softly. They remind us to be curious, to learn every day, and to see money as a helpful friend. They teach us that courage is found in small acts of bravery, that patience and kindness light our way, and that our hearts hold the wisdom we need. Today, I carry these lessons with me like a treasured map, a map drawn with soft lines of hope, painted in warm hues of love. Every lesson is a quiet step forward on a journey that never really ends. In the gentle hum of life, listen closely. Hear the tender words of each lesson, like a lullaby that soothes the soul. Let them remind you that life is a series of delicate moments, each one a tiny miracle, a chance to grow, to love, and to become a better version of yourself. As you step out into the world, carry these lessons gently in your heart. Ask, "How can I?" with each new sunrise. Embrace every mistake as a lesson, every moment as a gift. Remember that true wealth is not just coins or paper, but the quiet strength of a brave heart and the soft light of kindness. In the end, the lessons we learn become the wings that carry us toward our dreams. They help us spread our wings, feel the wind, and fly toward a horizon full of promise. Let your inner compass guide you. Let courage be your friend. And most importantly, let the gentle lessons of the past nurture your soul as you write your own story in the quiet, beautiful moments of life. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Remember, the lessons we keep are the soft lanterns that light our way through life. May your path be gentle, your heart be strong,
and your dreams be as vast as the starlit sky.